Welcome to Two Nerds and an Actor, the entertainment podcast for the nerd adjacent to the nerd connoisseur. With wit and no filter, we answer the burning questions. Should you watch that? And what the hell did I just watch? This is season 4, episode 6, and I'm here with my nerd shots, Mike Santana.
Okay, wait. Nerd shots, I'm definitely straight. No chaser. I know what you meant.
No, but I like this better.
But I'm going with that.
And France Jerome.
The streets always win.
Is that what happened?
Technically.
Wait, Spoilae.
Oh, right.
Already?
JK.
Yeah.
And I'm your nerd host, Vin Diesel. That's it. No.
Aisha Toretto.
Aisha Jordan. I'm here. I'll be in Fast 9. Is that the one that's coming out? Fast Fury?
15.
Whichever one it is, I'm gonna be
It's
that.
9. It's
9.
definitely
Wait, time
definitely
out.
9.
Coming out
Trying
in
to tell me-
2024.
In 1/5 of the time, Fast and Furious caught up to Star Wars.
Yes.
For sure.
The fuck?
Yes. They don't fuck around.
Some
If
wild
you
shit.
can't tell, we'll be talking about Bloodshot because that came out streaming. We're going to talk about some nerdy leaks, theaters taking a stand, new movies and shows still in the works, and a very special director who was killing it in Marvel. We'll also be talking about the last 4 episodes of Westworld, so that finale that's been kind of a point of contention out there in the world. So, yeah.
You mean between me and Mike?
It's been like all around.
I'm telling you, a lot of
Yeah.
people are like, we'll get into it, but
It's like
me and you are the
the
center of
vote
the universe.
has been split. All right. So
It's
first,
split, yeah.
let's get into some nerdy leaks. The big news that's been going around is that movie theaters have decided to not show Universal movies. And this is on a stand that the CEO or something of Universal? Who was it? President?
Universal, the production company.
Yeah, the production
So
company.
that folks, yeah.
They said, they were like, oh man, look how good our streaming has done. We don't even need to go into movie theaters.
It was what, with Trolls?
Yeah, Trolls 2, a
Yeah.
world tour.
Is it 2 or is it 3?
No, it's 2.
Just 2?
You just think Trolls keeps coming out or something? Like
I do.
A million
Trolls
Trolls
2.
movies.
Trolls 7, the Undisturbed
Trolls
Country.
2 came out on streaming, and you had to pay for it, right? Like you couldn't just...
Yeah. It was like a on-demand type
Right.
deal because no theaters are open.
And it made like almost the same amount it would make in theaters, right? What was it?
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Like
which is
121 mil, something like that.
which is pretty impressive considering that's pretty impressive considering that movie theater ticket prices are, I think, on average, if you're going as a family, especially,
Right.
way more expensive than whatever the rental or owning price of the digital version of it was. So that's pretty impressive if they broke even.
That is so true because if you're in a house, like obviously it's a kid's movie too. You're going to see it in your home. There's probably like 5 people who are paying once and seeing
Right.
this movie, right? So that's crazy. That's so true.
Yeah, that's very, very impressive. That would tell me that more people, based on their projections, more people elected to watch it on demand at home
That's true.
than
Would've
would
gone.
have gone to see it in the theater.
That's wild.
But that's because it's Trolls.
Trolls 2.
Trolls 2.
World tour.
I wasn't going to go see that in the
Yes.
theater. I just want to be clear.
The record
I
deal.
also didn't watch it. I did not rent it and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, we should keep our integrity and not judge that piece of shit because we haven't seen it.
Exactly.
You're right.
But the point is, Universal got cocky and they were like, look at us. We don't even need y'all. And so AMC was the first to be like, oh yeah, okay, fine. Then we're not going to show your movies. And then someone else jumped on the bandwagon, Regal, right?
Yeah, AMC and then Regal. Yeah. It's not a piece of shit. The kids love it. I haven't seen it. I was just fucking
I saw the
I
first
don't want
one,
to lose
but
our
not the end.
sponsorships.
Yeah,
Yo, DreamWorks
Obviously.
is like, you're...
DreamWorks. They're like, we were thinking about it, but now. But my question is, what is the point they're really trying to make? Because won't they lose money?
Who, the theaters?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't fully understand the business of how that works. I know that the theater experience can do a lot for a film. We've seen films by word of mouth and things like that. I think this happens a lot, especially with like comedies, where if a movie's really good, it's that theater experience watching with other people that you can't get at home.
Yeah.
That some movies really get a boost out of the experience with. Whereas others, like apparently Trolls 2, didn't need that at all.
True.
It just needed a global pandemic and a $20 price tag to watch at home.
This feels more like a protest, very symbolic protest about the interconnectedness of that movie industry. Because all Universal really said was, oh, wow, this looks like a successful methodology for us to get stuff out. Let's do both at the same time. They didn't say they wasn't going to do it in the theaters. They said, well, let's do both simultaneously.
Oh, okay.
And movie theaters was like, but that's coming at our necks unintentionally.
Right. Yeah. I mean, theaters they feel threatened by that model. I mean, they would have wanted Universal to just delay the release so that they could get that box office cut.
Right.
But Universal was like, nah, we got a release window and we're gonna take it. So they're basically, by saying they're not gonna show any more Universal pictures, they're trying to put the other studios on notice that if y'all motherfuckers do that shit too,
Right.
don't expect to be able to get your movies on our screens.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, for some films, they do need that.
Yeah.
Well, they think they do.
I mean, I feel like it's just a warning because they work in tandem. Like, how is the theater is not going to be able to survive if they don't show any movies because studios have decided, you know what, I'm going to put it on streaming. It's not going to work like that. They would have to come to some type of consensus with each other.
It really just changes the culture of going to movies and why. Because even the indie art house joints now are really, their production companies are subsidiaries of these much larger companies. So there's a lot of indie stuff that wouldn't be able to get shine either because they're all connected.
I don't feel like now is when we should do the deep cut or deep dive on this.
Yeah.
But like, you can make the argument that indie movies would love to be able to just go straight to digital.
And save so much money.
Yeah, they might prefer that. Be like, all right, stay in, watch an intimate date night movie type thing. You got to read subtitles. You don't have to worry about motherfuckers doing a barbecue to the right of you in aisle 4, depending on what theater you frequent. And
to be
you
fair,
never had that happen? No one ate beans and spilled them?
I don't go to Bay Plaza, my fault.
Oh, yeah, Bay Plaza.
Wow.
Whoa, he just dissed Bay Plaza. So rude,
My
friends.
bad. No, that was a misplacement. I meant Concourse, whatever the hell that shit.
Oh, yeah, that
Too
theater.
late.
Yo, that theater is still there, though. I heard it got nice.
Shout out to Concourse Plaza. Shout out to Concourse Plaza Theater. That's where Mike took me to see Dark Knight. Respect.
Wait,
Really?
Can you wait a minute?
Yeah.
You can't shit on these places and
Yes,
then
I can.
Wow, okay.
This is America.
Well, to be fair, before we move on, a lot of indie films have already gone straight to streaming. It's things like Netflix and Hulu have really helped indie films like thrive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're a part of this conversation, but maybe that's another time to talk about that.
We'll do a deep dive another time.
So the next thing on the docket, Demolition Man 2 is slated to come out.
It's in the works.
Confusion.
If they don't have a subtitle, The Secret of the Three Seashells, I don't care.
That's the after credits scene.
That could remain a mystery. That's fine.
Nah.
But here's the thing. And I realize I need to go back and watch Demolition Man because it's been a while.
Oh, no. We used to watch that like every day in my house.
Well,
Same.
It's a great movie. I love it. But it's been a while since I watched it. I could be completely wrong.
No, you're probably
I
right.
thought that Wesley Snipes
Was the Demolition Man. Oh my God.
Man.
Yes.
Isn't he the Demolition Man? Like he's the problem? He's the thing demolishing?
Well, they say
Everything.
Is he?
No, in the movie they
No,
say
he's
that
not.
Sylvester Stallone's character is Demolition. That's
It's
his nickname.
Sylvester Stallone, yeah.
Right.
No, Sylvester Stallone's character.
No. Wesley Snipes. Sylvester Stallone got out of cryo or whatever because he was the Demolition Man. He's the only one who could stop the Wesley Snipes guy.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But I'm under the impression at the end that Wesley Snipes died. Didn't he die?
Yeah, he dies.
And he got blowed up.
He got...
Or something, like he was frozen and then smashed into a bunch of pieces or something.
Yes.
Is that another movie?
He got T-1000.
He got T-1000
right?
with no,
He can't come back.
No camera CGI?
No.
Which answers that question, will Wesley Snipes be in it? Because France was like, I need Snipes in it.
But
Simon Phoenix is dumb.
They could put him in it, okay? This is how they could do it.
Flashbacks.
Didn't they basically upload the personality traits or whatever of other serial killers into him?
The skill sets, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so who's to say that his own consciousness isn't somewhere stored that could be uploaded to...
That's
You know
real
what I'm
life.
saying?
This is how Yaya ends up in the movie.
Wait, Yaya? I don't want Yaya. I want Wesley.
It's going to be Yaya pretending to be Wesley Snipes.
No. I
Don't you have someone to kill?
Let Wesley be Wesley. Why do we keep
Wesley.
trying to recast him? He still looks 38. Let him play.
He does.
Let him. What has he been training for?
I would like to see him because when I saw him in Dolomite, I was like, oh man, this guy's going beyond what I thought he could.
Yeah,
So I would
all
love
the
to see what he would do.
All the props we give to what's Spawn? The Spawn dude,
Michael Jai White.
Yeah.
all the props we give Michael Jai White, stay in his shape and look. Wesley looks the same. They can fight. They can spar.
Yeah, I would love to see it. And it is confirmed that Sylvester Stallone is doing it. I think
All Sylvester said was that it's in the works, but I would think he's in it. That's the thing too. Wesley looks better than Sylvester Stallone.
That's not that hard.
And Sandra Bullock. Anyway, whatever.
I feel like they're going to do this. I feel like they're going to what is it? Didn't they do this with X-Files where it was the older people were leaving. All of a sudden there was these new young agents that came in.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they're going to do. You can't have Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes.
First of all, I'm gonna say this right. That was peak Sandra Bullock for me. That's the most enjoyable I ever found her in a movie.
Agreed. Because then she
Period.
started doing rom-coms or Blindside. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's just more reboots, more whatevers. We're gonna be talking about this for the rest of our lives.
Yes. He took
Hashtag Wesley.
Yeah.
Balboa Productions also on their slate has Cobra as a TV series.
On what? On Hulu or something?
No, they're still
On
working
Disney
it out.
Plus.
No, is it a YouTube original?
Spy Hunter.
Spy Hunter. What's Spy Hunter?
So these are all and Nighthawks, and he's rehashing
All his franchises?
all the joints almost all the joints he was in, short of
It's a
Spy
connected
Hunter,
universe.
I mean, they could. Not gonna lie.
The
But just not with him. He's too
Cobra
old.
Kai.
But it just brings us back to the thing that we always talking about, where the new ideas at. We just out here rehashing nostalgia for nostalgia's sake.
We gotta find out what 5'6" movie actor can wear a duster meant for someone 6'3". That's the Cobra. that's what the Cobra wardrobe.
I feel like there's still room to innovate on horror films, but
No Tango and Cash.
what?
I'm saying if they rebooting all his old shits.
Well, if we're talking about new ideas, this is a new character coming to Disney Plus. Riri. Riri's gonna be on a show up. I guess it's.
Well, you gotta be more. You say really
I'm
one thing,
sorry.
Rihanna.
Oh my God! I would love that, but no, that wouldn't make any sense. I guess.
Like her new album's gonna drop on Disney Plus.
I wish she would make a new album, girl.
We've been waiting.
No, from Ironheart. Ironheart is getting
Yes.
her own
Williams.
animated, I believe. Right? I think that's what
I don't know.
it was.
I don't know if
They
they.
didn't specify.
Yeah, they didn't specify the medium for But
Okay.
they're working on
Yeah.
a Riri Williams
Yeah.
MCU tied in thingy.
For 2030, because
I don't even know.
who's making anything right now?
Hermetically sealed set.
There's a bunch of writers at home in their houses alone getting on Zoom like, So I guess we're writing this. Like, what's the timeline like?
No, they're starting to get shit done. Like today on Twitter, they were saying that the Czech Republic is open for business in terms of shows and movies that want to film. They have space over there, and supposedly Winter Soldier and the Falcon is going over there to finish up their shoots.
How fucking smart.
In the Czech Republic, so...
Don't bring them Corona.
Hilarious. We have to count on other countries' like ingenuity to keep our own industries alive.
Russia's opening. And we can film all of our things in Russia.
Bucky comes home. They have a parade.
Coming to Russia.
But all jokes aside, I am very excited about it. I actually don't know anything about Ironheart. It's just the fact that there's a black woman being Iron Man. That's awesome to me. I don't know. Do I have to say Iron Woman? Is that a thing?
No, it's just Ironheart.
Yeah, right. That's the name of our car.
You named your car after somebody who you need to do more research on.
Yeah, because she's strong and she's a tiny tank. That's all I know.
The tiny ting. All right, Drake.
No, she's a tiny
He likes to
tank.
he likes to say ting.
Like the
Tings.
drink.
Oh,
That's
come
gross.
on.
He says that?
All right. He says a lot of things.
That's true.
Too many
That's true.
things.
Did you want to talk more about that?
No, not about Drake now.
No.
Why are we talking about music so
talk
much in this podcast?
More about Drake. Well, we started with Riri, so it seemed like a logical progression there.
Well, I will go back to Ironheart by saying I'm excited to see an Ironheart story. Her AI is Tony.
Right.
Oh,
her Jarvis.
That's fun.
Her
Yeah.
Jarvis is Tony.
More
Yeah,
work
that's-
for Robert Downey Jr. He's gonna be like, "Wow, this is the part that I hated, but here we go."
Whoever does his voice matching on the animated and video game stuff is pretty damn good.
I was gonna say they
That's
probably
true.
get the dude that just does his voice in the animated
Superior
stuff they do.
tech.
It is really good. What were we watching? And I was like, "Man, that guy sounds just like him." Was it that Spider-Man?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. You know it's not him though.
No, you knew it's not him.
You know it's not him.
But I don't know that whoever does that voice, he's just been around for so long.
Well, the most exciting thing that I think on this list, I don't have other news to talk about, but for me, is that they just announced, just happened a couple days ago, that the newest Star Wars, or not newest, but a Star Wars film is going to be directed and co-written by Taika Waititi. That is phenomenal to me.
And I want the whole cast to just be droids.
Oh my god. No, because he wrote the Mandalorian episode with the two stormtroopers who were like punching Baby Yoda in the face. He wrote that one.
A droid. Two of them with droids, and he highlighted
The
them.
film is going to be at a droid factory, and it's going to be shot office style with the droids.
I hope it's a mix between
documentary?
Star Wars and like IT crowd. Have you tried
it's
turning
gonna
it
be
on and off again?
It's going to be called The Droids That You're Looking For.
Oh my god!
And it's just going to be about the day in the life of a droid.
That is amazing.
they better.
I
Hope they
would
listen.
watch that. I don't know. I'm just in love with Taika Waititi, and I think my next goal in life is to be in a movie that's directed by him. So if you're listening, Taika, I'm your woman. I'm there. Whatever role it is, I know it's perfect for me.
Droid
I'm
number
down.
4.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Can you beep Blorp?
Roger. Is that good now? I don't know. This is fantastic news. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be funny?
I mean, it'd be illegal if it wasn't. He's doing it.
Yeah, his stuff is irreverent to the maximum. It doesn't have to be funny. The premise or whatever happens is going to be ridiculous and poignant. Somehow he always does that.
He's really perfect. If anyone saw Jojo Rabbit, he's really perfect at doing like dark comedy, but in that way where you don't feel dark. You feel like this is hilarious. I can't believe I'm laughing at freaking Hitler dancing right now, but that's happening, you know? And then there's these moments of real seriousness where you're like, am I about to cry?
Or maybe
Is that what's happening?
maybe he'll just do like a an origin story for Darth Plagueis the Wise, and it'll be like a musical.
Oh my God.
Star Wars the musical.
I'm learning both sides of the Force. Bang.
There
I
can
hope-
only be two.
I seriously hope that any of my friends are listening right now because they've already written this. They've already written it. They know the score. They're casting right now.
Oh God.
You can't force the Force.
I don't know how we top that news.
You can't, I don't know, man.
Yo.
Show tunes.
Show tunes. We can't top that news, but there is something very interesting that was brought up. They're doing this Pirates reboot, which I thought they had like abandoned because like who needs or wants that? But whatever. It's still happening, I guess. And
Yeah.
Karen Gilliam has been thrown around out there to be the lead. Nebula. I don't know. Is that like a downgrade for her?
Downgrade.
No. For her to get another set of another series to be a multi-million-dollar series to be in, she's good.
And to be the face of, not a side character?
Oh, I guess that's true. You're a main character. But it's
Yeah.
pirates.
I mean,
Look what happened to Johnny Depp.
Well, Amber Heard happened to Johnny Depp, but
That's
hopefully
different.
they should bring him back, but I could see him not being the main character this
Right.
time around.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, if you really watch the Pirates movies, which I did, Johnny Depp's not actually the main character. You know, all the other characters, Will was the main character and his whole family line was the main characters. Like, he was this side character that was always like making malarkey and doing craziness.
Yes, I think that's how it started out.
Yeah.
But then eventually he was the main character.
He's
Like,
definitely the face, for sure.
They then just made it all about shit he's done and the comeuppances that kept resurfacing, for lack of a better metaphor.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would definitely be a step up for her, for Karen Gillan.
Wow. Gillam?
oh, she stepped into the double name Hall of
Gilliam?
Fame now.
No, because it's Gillan.
It's
yeah.
Gillam,
Right?
Gillan?
Okay, so it's just Gillan. No, she's not in the double name Hall of Fame.
I'll look it up.
It's Gillan. But
Zendaya?
it'd be huge for her. She's been part of ensemble franchises, that have been successful. The Pirates franchise, not my favorite, but it's made hundreds of millions of dollars.
Not my favorite.
It's huge. It's huge. I'm just not looking forward to breaking the news to Mima that Johnny Depp won't be in this one as of now. Anyway,
We don't know that. I think it's gonna be
as of now.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a surprise, little surprise.
I'd be down with a cameo. I don't think he really needs to be in it.
He doesn't deserve a cameo. He deserves a little more of a cameo after what happened to him. He almost got blackballed.
Let her ship be possessed by a ghost, and let that ghost be that of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. What if he now is Davy Jones?
Like a
That would make
like
more
Kit
sense.
Knight Rider, but it's the ship.
Are the others going to be in it?
I don't know.
What's her name?
Keira Knightley?
Keira Knightley and my
I'd
dude,
love her to be in
Orlando
it.
Bloom.
No.
Do you know him and Katy Perry are like still together, I think?
Yeah, they had like a kid and everything.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I can't talk
Damn.
about this right now.
You
This
brought
is
it up.
ridiculous.
More music. What the fuck? you brought
Katy
it up.
Perry, hot and we're cold. No?
No music. Clap, 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 clap.
All right. This is the time in the show where we shout out some people who shouted us out. I don't know why France thought that was funny, but he is now laughing quietly. I just want to... I don't know why that's funny. Okay. I want to give a big shout out to Kat Ramos, who actually posted about us on Instagram. I don't know if she also did on Facebook, but we love Kat.
On
She's
LinkedIn.
on LinkedIn, on TikTok. But she has been catching up on old episodes, which I think is fun. That's hilarious. Some of those ones are really long, so thank you for taking the time. Although I know all we have is time. But it's always great to see the love and for people to share it. People don't share enough, and I'm so thankful, Kat, that you've done that.
Thanks, Kat.
Yeah. And it was her birthday recently, so
Yeah.
happy birthday, Kat.
Happy belated birthday,
Her
Kat.
belated joint, she's on May the 3rd, so she was hype on May the 4th.
Oh.
And she's a Star Wars head, so you're...
Yo. I also didn't know that there was Revenge the 5th. That's really cool.
That one's way better.
Yeah, that was fun. We continued
Way
the
better.
movies after that. We were like, oh, we could keep going? But shout out to Kat. Thank you. Happy birthday. I want to give another shout out to Simone, who has continued her monthly gift to us. And I don't think you guys understand how important it is and how it's helped us. We pay our sound guy every month out of our own pockets. So it was so nice. Daryl. Shout out to Daryl. We pay Daryl out of our own pockets, and it's amazing to be able to put some of that back in our pockets so we can go out and buy food and do all these other things as well. What? That's real life.
So we can buy CDs and listen to more music.
Exactly. So thank you to
I'm
those
just going to
two.
keep
Plugging it.
We're making our own mixtape during this episode. It's our own mixtape.
chigga.
So the other things I want to shout out or want to plug is obviously we're still quarantined. We're still social distancing, isolating, all those things. I called it fiscal distancing at one point because there's so many people who don't have any money anymore and they've like lost their jobs, which is really terrible. So it's hard to be like, oh, donate to me. So if you can't donate, but you want to support us, you can always do like Kat. Shout us out on Instagram, share the podcast, like, subscribe, because all of those things change the algorithm, and then we'll get more viewers, more listeners, and more chances to keep this podcast going and not have to shut it down. Because that's what happens when you work on something for a really long time. It doesn't go anywhere. We want it to go places. Help us make it go places. So if you're a blogger, write a review. Tell us you've written a review. Write in the comments so we can see that you love it. We can share it and we can get more interest.
We need
into what we do.
quotables, people. Quotables.
Help us
Legit.
help you.
And if you do that, you get a shout out at this moment too. How exciting would that be? We can shout you out inside of an episode.
By your name.
By your name, and I'll do it in this smooth voice like this.
Oh, that's actually a good one. If you donate $5 a month, I will have France send you sexy messages.
Oh,
That took a
voices.
turn.
Dang, I was about to say.
You did it.
Listen, when quarantines are like lifted, we need to do an ASMR episode.
For
So
sure.
ready.
We have to
should
do
it
a
now.
100% ASMR episode with our
It
nerdy
starts-
leaks, with our spoilaes, and our
Just-
non-spoilaes.
We whisper the whole time.
It'd
And
be
then
even be funny if we can get like an ASMR version of the Tetris theme, like even softer.
Use the parrot.
It's like da, 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 da,
Done.
da, 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 da.
How you
whisper
laughing
singing it?
I
Are
am.
you yin yang twinning it? What the fuck are you doing?
2Nerds, let me whisper here. No.
Oh, it's happening.
Oh my God, that was the next song on our mixtape.
This is the 2
All
Nerds
right.
Infinite playlist.
Infinite playlist.
Volume
So
3.
if you do have some funds, let's say that you got your stimulus and you're like, I actually still have a job and I want to help other people. What? That happened. A lot of
It
people are
does.
like, yo, I don't actually need this. Who needs help? There's a lot of places that you could give to, or if you yourself need to get some of these resources, there's such thing as the freelance artist resource through WordPress. There's the COVID-19 resources for undocumented communities because a lot of people aren't getting stimuluses because they don't file taxes. They're not on the books, that kind of thing. And there's the Teaching Artists Guild COVID-19 resources, so look those up. And also for artists, there's a Creative Capital's list of arts resources during the COVID-19 outbreak. I said that kind of fast, sorry. So rewind and listen to those resources and look them up online. Those are just some ways that you can actually donate to people in need or get the help that you might need. So thank you, everyone, for listening to that. Our little shout out donation break. We are actually going to move into our no spoilers TV and movie reviews.
Yes, the non-spoiler take.
I feel like eventually we'll have some music to go there.
Really, not
It
telling you. Ain't telling you nothing.
Well, you didn't request the new.
No.
You didn't request the news music for earlier, which
You're right, I
sounded
didn't.
great last episode.
Last time. Daryl, do that news music again.
You know what?
This is breaking the fourth wall all over this.
He said
Stop it.
it's cool. He'll cut this out. He knows.
No,
Okay.
it's better when he doesn't.
Correct.
I find it better. He keeps
Two
that.
nerds and an actor plus Daryl.
That's what he gets for listening. Like,
Once you join the team, let's say you can't get out. All right, so we're going into our no spoilers review. We watched Bloodshot for all of you all. Who, you know what?
that's
You can-
harsh. We took a dive for folks with Underwater. I'm
We
not
did
going to
take a
say
dive.
we took a bullet for them for Bloodshot.
We didn't, but we did, and we're healed.
Oh.
We didn't die. Didn't die. Okay, so Bloodshot was on. It's on iTunes and all these places for renting or streaming.
Yeah, it's
or
on
It's
all
out
the
there. It's on
DS
all
all
platforms.
those places. My question is, so no spoilers. What movie was this better than, and why?
What was this better than outside of Underwater? What was this
Outside
better
of
than?
Underwater.
All right.
Oh, why you had that caveat? It's so
Because of
easy.
course
Yeah.
it was better than Underwater. Underwater? I don't know how to say it anymore.
What movie was this better than? I mean, it's better than a lot of movies.
Oh,
but that
really?
doesn't- Yeah, I mean, I could think of a lot of movies that are shit. This movie wasn't shit.
But did you actually watch Velocipaster?
That doesn't count either.
Did y'all?
No.
All
That'll
right.
be a special.
So next week, that's our date, and we'll do a drinking game.
We have
with
to
that.
drink. Yeah, definitely have to drink to that one.
That's our movie date next week or tomorrow, whatever.
I don't know why. Damn, no, that can't be right.
Do it.
I'm about to say Phantom Menace. This movie is better than Phantom Menace.
Well, it's better than Clone Wars, the second one.
Oh.
I don't know which one. Oh no.
Clone Wars was dog shit.
They both were, but I can't remember which one was worse.
Yeah, but Phantom Menace at least gave us the music and the
Duel of the
Darth Maul
Fates?
fight.
True, but they also gave us Jar Jar Binks.
Ew.
This movie was not Jar Jar.
It was definitely not Jar Jar.
Oh yeah, no.
Underwater would have been a better movie with Jar Jar.
Oh my God, that would have made so much more sense.
If one of those things started
They came
Jar Jar
out,
Binkston on the
right?
seafloor, I would have been like, yes.
They'd be like, there's so many different types of beings down here.
heads.
Okay, I'm going to say,
This is a problematic question you asked, Aisha. I don't
I know,
appreciate
that's why
it.
you ask it. It's so good. Look at us. So, I think it's better than, what is it? What's the one in Fast and Furious where they're in Dubai? That's the last one I really saw.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Mike is offended.
Yes.
I am offended.
Because, well, actually, I don't know. Maybe they're the same.
Was that Fast 8?
Maybe they're the same. No, Fast 8 just happened.
Oh, so it was Fast. Was it Fast and Furious? Was that? Oh, Fast.
You
7?
talking about the one that had the UFC fighter lady
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah,
Ronda Rousey?
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, sure. Okay, maybe they're the same. Maybe
It's
they're the
not fair. And then that's another Vin Diesel movie.
same. Yeah.
This movie was better than, what was the name of his babysitting movie?
The damn
Tooth
it,
Fairy's The Rock.
same movie.
No, it's not.
You're thinking about the pacifier.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god,
This movie was better than that.
I know my Vin Diesel.
Why?
Yikes. Not my Vin Diesel movies, but my Vin Diesel.
Right? Yeah. Why do you know?
I used to love him. I don't know. And then I was like, whatever.
You keep revealing that to me repeatedly. I'm like, I know.
He used to.
I missed the boiler room. Anyway,
Oh. Well, okay. I think it was better than Fast 8 or whatever because I feel like it was more intriguing story. I never know what's going on in the Fast and Furious movies. I don't know what they do because they used to be car robbers. Like they were bad
They
guys.
still are. That's all
What?
they are. They
thought they
steal
work
our
with the
hearts
police
with every
now.
sequel.
I don't have friends. Got family.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was better because I feel like it had its ups and downs for sure. Like there's moments where like, I don't know what's going on. Why do I care? And then there'd be a twist that you're like, that's really interesting. And then you lose interest pretty quickly. But the fact that it had it at all is very interesting.
Bloodshot was the trailer. If you saw the trailer for Bloodshot, you got the movie.
Hey yo, Spoilae, bro.
Oh my God.
It's in the trailer. Like it doesn't do anything that's gonna surprise you because it doesn't deviate much from the trailer. It's solid. But it's contemporary.
I think maybe that's why I liked it better than
it's not. I like to say it's better than Venom because
he had one in the chamber.
it had one in the clip. It's better than Venom because and that's another like superhero comic book movie, right? Venom was not contemporary, but it didn't have the balls to be like satirical or pay homage to the 90s and early 2000s superhero movies that it was more like than modern day comic book movies. Bloodshot is very much modern day. Great special effects. The acting is what it is. Some solid cast members, but overall, it's a solid movie. Like you don't lose anything by watching it, but do you gain much?
No.
Not really.
I'm gonna say the script wasn't my favorite. It didn't leave anything. The actors didn't have room to move. It was just what it was.
It's Vin Diesel. Everybody else was trying but him.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I mean, what is he gonna do?
He's Vin Diesel.
It's Vin Diesel. Like,
Yeah.
they should have gotten. Listen, I'll take my friend. E.
Shout out.
He wanted Jason David Frank to be in the role that Vin Diesel took for Bloodshot
Which
because
one's Jason
apparently
David Frank?
Green Ranger.
Jason David Frank is the Green Ranger,
Right.
Power Rangers. Because apparently he had something to do with the comic book. I don't know if he was a co-producer or if he was on covers for it, like a model or something. I don't know what the fuck. The point is, they should have just had Jason David Frank play the role and Vin Diesel do the voiceover. That'd have been fine.
He could be like, I am Groot.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been bad.
Yeah. But have Jason David Frank do all the body language and the stuff that Vin Diesel's
Bloodshot was a
not good
movie.
at.
Bloodshot was a movie. It was a movie. It had a beginning, a middle, an end. Great special effects. Some interesting choreography, but not really cool. Like Extraction had 11 million times
Right.
choreography and cinematography to boot.
You can't really compare those two.
I was like, so that was that. It was just a movie.
Did he even have a beginning, middle, and end?
It did. It didn't surprise. Like nothing was surprising. Who's the guy? Was that Guy Ritchie? Who was that guy running around?
Oh,
Not Guy
wasn't
Ritchie.
that Guy Ritchie?
Is that Guy Ritchie?
Who doing what?
The main dude.
the
No,
guy
Guy
with the-
Pearce.
Guy
Guy
Pearce.
Pearce. Yeah, him. Okay.
Pearce.
The guy. Him.
Yeah,
The
that
face.
guy.
All right.
My guy.
He was fine. Okay. This movie, if you've ever played Metal Gear 4, there was a lot, I feel like, that was borrowed aesthetically from that game
Right.
to this movie.
It did feel very much like video game movie type of thing when you're watching it, which isn't bad. It was just like, oh, okay. I thought I was watching a comic book movie.
like I just would I recommend people watch this movie?
That's a good question.
No. Would I make fun of you if you paid to watch this movie? Also, no. It is the most benign and safe
Yeah.
R-rated superhero movie.
It was rated
you could
R?
hope for. It had to have been. It was so violent. I mean,
There was a lot of violence. Oh, that's true.
It was
Yeah.
pretty gory. It was gory.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
murder. A lot of
it had to be
murdering.
rated R. I mean, there's no way. I mean, yeah, it
mean,
wasn't
we-
as bloody as like the Lord of the Rings movies, but it was R.
Sir.
Y'all
That's
have to
the
admit one
bar.
of these days that they fucking
Like
those
Orc
movies should have been
blood?
rated R. All three of them.
The blood is black.
So what? Motherfuckers is getting beheaded in front of hairy children.
They were grown adults.
Hairy breakfast eating children.
They were like 45. Well,
I think I might be calling hobbits hairy children from now on.
no.
Hairy children. It's fine.
They're adults. Well, that's Bloodshot in a nutshell.
That's
So,
Bloodshot.
I mean, technically, we'll get into Spoilae, but it's going to be like the same words.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like same.
Yeah. I mean,
Just copy and paste.
it's,
Okay.
if you're a fan of Vin Diesel, there are better Vin Diesel films.
That's true.
But this is not a bad film.
No,
It's just
no. It's just
yeah.
what it was. It was Bloodshot. Bloodshot. So we're going to get into no spoilers of Westworld, the final episodes.
Well,
It's always a hard thing
basically
to
the
do.
second half of the season.
Yeah, the second half of the season.
Yeah, it was a short season.
Which is really hard to do. Without spoiling anything, what for you was the underlying theme of the season? So let's say this. Since it was greenlit for season 4, do you think that they can continue strong moving forward, or do you see it might start lacking as more seasons are coming?
In my opinion.
Yeah, it's all opinion. It's all opinion.
It's opinion. It's just opinion. Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan could tell a damn story.
Also, is that any relation to the other Nolan?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is Christopher Nolan's brother.
The brother?
This is
How
brother.
come
Yeah.
he doesn't have an accent?
He grew up in different places, I guess.
Oh, okay.
It's the only assumption I can think of.
Anyway,
Because
continue.
one's a host.
Oh! Oh my God, this whole
Spoil it.
series was about him and his brother, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
Yo.
One of them is Solomon. Anyway.
Who's
No.
Solomon?
Listen, the
Christopher
Prestige
is
was
Solomon.
about.
I love you today.
Sorry. We're about to get into spoilers territory. Let's roll it back.
All right.
Friends, continue.
Yeah, I mean, Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan can tell a damn story. From day one, story's been dope. Story never wasn't dope. Story, it remains dope. And as it moves in, all they can do is continue telling the story. It doesn't matter what the story is. In this point, the storyteller has been doing the damn thing, and it can only fail on the storytelling. The storytelling has been super solid. So, and for me, it's super strong. What the pieces that are left, the gap that's been left in the narrative is perfect to tell another story. They don't even have to connect to the original story. They can tell a whole nother story right now.
I kind of feel the same way. I'm 50-50, which I always am. I'm always in the middle of two places when it comes to
Oh, you
like,
mean
my ideas.
safe?
Yeah. I'm
Damn.
always safe. I'm always diplomatic. I'm always the middle child.
But I'm the Libra.
So. But I kind of feel the same way. I feel like it could go really strong. Where it left off, I'm interested as to what could happen next. I think when any show starts having a lot of seasons, there is a high possibility of things to start lacking. Because there's no lie, like people run out of ideas. I'm not saying that like people aren't really creative. Like, obviously, the people who make Westworld are really deep thinkers and can do that. But I think anytime a story keeps going like that, the possibility of it being diluted is really high. And I'm not going to give Game of Thrones as an example because I feel like that's a kind of like
that's not a fair
unique
comparison.
situation.
Yeah.
But like if you take BBC shows or like things like that, like they tell really deep, intense, gripping stories. They give you 3 seasons and they're like, that's it because we don't want it. They always leave on a high note.
Well,
you know?
yeah.
And I'm worried that Westworld wouldn't know how to do that, even though it doesn't have the fan base that like Game of Thrones did. I think HBO is just down for anything that people get obsessed about.
Agree.
Okay, so to answer your question and in the spirit of non-spoiler, I love Westworld. I love what the show does to me when it is having me question the nature of my reality. You know,
Black Mirror.
it is such a high production show from top to bottom. Very few shows on television can even touch what 1 minute of Westworld is in terms of acting, music, sets, special effect, like all those things that go into story that go into Westworld, is money, right? Okay. All that being said, can they continue going strong? This season was very frustrating for me because I liked where a lot of things ended up, but I did not like how they got there. And unlike season 2 and season 1, for me, there wasn't a what door moment, if you will. There wasn't a William is the Man in Black moment, if you will. In other words, there wasn't a payoff for me on that level narratively in season 3. And season 3, possibly because of all the things that it had to do, and we've talked about this earlier, and everybody should know up until now, that things are taking place outside of the parks, right?
Yeah.
So they had to kind of establish what the world outside of the parks is, as well as tell a story, a narrative. So it's more world building and pushing a story along. So can they continue going strong? I think from where they ended up, yes, they could continue telling a strong story. But for me, they're going to be going into season 4 having to, like, my expectations are higher because for season 3, like I said, very strong acting performances, but some of the things that happened with characters' choices and things like that, I felt unsatisfied. It's not that I wanted them to play the game the way I wanted them to play. It wasn't about that. It's just I wasn't satisfied narratively with some of the characters' arcs, but where they ended up is very intriguing for me.
Yeah.
So going forward, now that the pieces are set, yeah, I think they can tell a strong story, and it seems like HBO is behind them to be able to finish that story. So, I've heard, basically 6 seasons is what HBO is asking for.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, when I watched like the behind the scenes thing, from the way they were talking, it sounded like they knew season 4 was coming. Like it wasn't like, who knows? It sounded like they knew. But I don't know, Mike, you're not alone. It seems like the vote on these last episodes is really split. Some people love it, and some people felt it was left some things to be desired. So we'll get more into it when we do our Spoilae. So we're going to take a quick break, everybody. This time, always wash your hands. I don't think we have another wash your hands song to use. We'll use something. But I say get a drink, because we're drinking things this time. I'm trying to take a cue from when France was basically drunk by the end of our last episode. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to have a drink.
Okay, I guess I'll drink next episode because I didn't drink this episode.
That's right. Next time, you better get a drink, Mike.
Okay. Peer pressure, folks. Brought to you by peer pressure.
Brought to you by... So you, go get a drink now. We're going to take a break. You get a drink.
Liquor stores are essential businesses.
Take a shot. Make a mixed cocktail. I don't know. I'm drinking... And this is going to sound weird to people, but I'm drinking kombucha with Knob Creek whiskey. And we're back. I would love for you to put in the comments what drink you made. That'd be awesome. I want to know.
Yeah,
did you try my suggestion of kombucha and whiskey?
What?
That's a question for the listeners.
That's a question for a select few listeners.
For
like
the
kombucha.
age-appropriate listener. How about that?
Guazabara is out there doing it right now. Don't lie.
Oh, yeah.
He's out there.
Just saying, apparently we have children who listen, so,
Whiskey and kombucha.
Hey, I don't want them fucking drinking that.
True. Although it's half healthy.
Just
All
mix
right.
some iced tea and Kool-Aid.
Oh, sounds
Capri
too sweet.
Sun. A little bit of Capri Sun in there.
Drink some lemonade. All right. So before we get into our Spoilae reviews, I had a question. We had been talking about what we're binging, but this time, at this point, we're all binging everything. It's like, what are you not binging? You know what I mean?
Honestly, I'm not, but okay.
What? Well, I mean, if you're like a gamer, you're probably just playing mad games. Streets of Rage. Let's do that for next episode.
Okay.
So the question I want to ask is, what outside nerd thing are you excited to get back to when things reopen? In our little break, we were talking about, Mike was talking about Forbidden Planet.
Yeah.
Tell us more, Mike.
Well, Forbidden Planet is in dire straits. The comic book industry as a whole, comic shops as a whole, are, really feeling it, especially if they are more like brick and mortar and relying on folks passing through and purchasing things like Collector Cave here in the Bronx. And, they're constantly putting on social media that they're thankful that people are still ordering things online.
Yeah.
But like for places like Forbidden Planet, where the rent has to be high as fuck because of their location.
They're in Manhattan.
They're really feeling it. So it's like, damn, I take some of those comic shops for granted, and I'm still mourning the loss of Barnes and Noble from Bay Plaza.
Word.
I like having my bookstores. I like supporting them. So it kind of sucks if some of those places are going to be shutting down. So I definitely cannot wait to just go into a comic shop and just support with my dollars there.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I've ordered some stuff, but I can't go crazy because we don't know what's happening with a lot of things right now. Yeah, so the entertainment bucks ain't what they were pre-quarantine. But
and
we got to be supportive of those businesses because if not, they'll be gone.
And I feel like those kinds of businesses really benefit off of foot traffic. Not just I'm walking by, I'm going to go in, but I would love just walking through Forbidden Planet. I don't know what I want when I go in there.
A word. The figures, though?
Yeah, you walk in and you're it's like being at freaking Comic-Con. You're I love this stuff. It's so fun to look at. And then you'd be like, you know what? I'm buying that. It's not the same when you go online. I'm not saying don't shop online. Definitely, obviously go online, shop on Forbidden Planet. But I get why they're having a hard time. I understand.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah, it's not the same when you're going into a comic shop that has, really interesting trinkets and statues and, figures that maybe you can't afford, but it just gets you in that mood to splurge and be a nerd. And all right, I'll buy this pop instead, or I'll buy this comic issue or something.
You just described me to a T.
I'm gonna hop on that idea because those not even just the mom and pops, because there's the mom and pop ones. Your smaller one was like Collector's Cave, I guess, which is a smaller one. But then you had your Midtown Comics, which is a larger, a larger joint. But I being there, I had an account at Midtown Comics since I was 13.
Yeah,
it was that was my spot to go to.
Whoa.
Yeah, for the pull list and all that.
Word for the pull list. They had movies there. They had anime joints that hadn't even dropped really, or it had fan films. On the CD, on DVD, ready for you to consume. And I was and that was the first place I saw pre-super big internet to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And
I miss going there.
There's a spot also on 3rd Ave, right? And there's a spot still in Fordham. The comic shops. I'm sorry I don't have the names of them right now, but there's not that many. Comments. And just I guess I'm speaking to my fellow nerds and nerd adjacent folks. It's when everything starts getting back to normal, just consider visiting a comic shop.
Nah, pay back to people who pay back the culture that fills your heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it's so true.
Yeah.
That was so touching. The one that I have is not as touching. So I was saying, then if anyone knows me, they know that I'm a zoo nerd. And when everything reopens, I just want to go to the zoo. That's all I want to do. I want to get on the monorail. I want to go to Asia and see the monkeys. I just
Peter
want
was
to
like,
sit and watch the giraffes walk around with the random ostriches. They're friends.
They are.
And I know that's not like
They're both
technically
tall.
they're tall. They have long necks, both of them.
That's what they talk about.
Yes. They're like, oh my God, look how regal we are. We're models. But I don't know if you can call it a Bronx business because I feel like it's...
I mean, it's the Wildlife Conservatory.
Yeah. It's
What?
the Wildlife
Wait, the
Conservatory.
Bronx Zoo?
Yeah, it is the Bronx Zoo.
It's
So
a Bronx business.
definitely
I don't
a
give a
Bronx
fuck.
business.
It's a Bronx business.
But I feel like it's more corporate than like, you know, a mom and pop shop.
Mike can make it sound like they're in collusion with the Limbe and icy people that be outside.
Yo, if they are, that is
No,
awesome.
the people that sell those balloons shaped like everything.
Yes, like the lions and stuff.
Let me get a balloon. It's like a 36 bus.
Yes, exactly. They got it.
They're like already made.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I miss.
I miss their funnel cake. Their overpriced funnel cake.
Oh my God, I know. They
Chicken
actually have pretty
tenders.
good chicken tenders, but they're
They
like
do.
$15.
Which is weird that they have such good chicken tenders.
Ostrich tenders. What are you saying?
You know what's so funny? You can go to one of the cafes that overlooks like the flamingos, and then you're like eating chicken.
Do not feed. Do not.
Oh, sorry. France, did you have a specific business or was it
No, I'm gonna let it ride. I jumped on the.
Forbidden Planet?
I jumped on all of the comic shops and specialty stores bandwagon.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you, because GameStop after this might not survive.
I mean, digital
What?
download already took them out.
What do you think about Think Geek? Will Think Geek still be around?
That's a smaller chain. Like,
And they did more apparel, even though they're owned by GameStop. But
Right.
yeah, that's just, yeah, I don't know.
Damn.
There's a lot of businesses are suffering. We're talking about like entertainment stuff. There's
Right.
way more essential things that are suffering as well. Restaurants and so I don't know.
Okay. Well, I really hope the best for all these businesses. And when we all get back out there, let's just support. And if you can support now, do it now.
do it. I'm sorry, y'all. Breaking this kind of just broke recently, but Birth Movies Death is no longer partnered with Alamo Drafthouse.
Shut your mouth.
Okay, wait. What now?
I'm hyperventilating.
So apparently, Birth Movies Death was a separate.
Yeah, they're separate. They're its own
entity.
company.
Right.
I always
so
wanted
they
to write
did
for
those
them.
really cool joints they did at the beginning of the movies at Alamo, which is part of the allure of going there.
right.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of that stuff and that partnership with Mondo. Like a lot of that was Birth Movies Death's idea.
I love them.
And they just Alamo sold them to keep in order to stay open, kind of.
No.
Oh, wow. So basically those quirky pre-show, movie thingies that they would play, like the really absurd.
Some of the absurd stuff, but some of the
Yeah.
really cool factual stuff as well.
Yeah. So that company was sold away.
But the same to the, down to the Texas Draft House company that does Fangoria. So they're still in the same area, and they said on their Twitter that they are still super open to working with Alamo Draft House. Even
Right,
in
but
this-
now they could work with other entities.
yeah.
Essentially,
okay.
they could work for us.
I always wanted to work for them. Because you know what? Like, they show, like,
Aisha,
all the-
goddammit,
Sorry. I
channel
want them.
all of your boss bitch energy and get them to work for us.
So basically, we work together where you pay me
that's fine.
and
That's
I
fine.
do things
That's
that
better.
also help you.
Come down to the Plaza Hotel, get you a job.
No, I always wanted to like write articles and do those like fun things they do at the beginning, but like they're not hiring. That's not a thing they do.
Oh my God.
It's
Probably a freeze.
Yeah. Well, I think like 5 people work there, so I don't think it's like a
Anywho, my bad to derail things, but I thought that was pertinent.
good. All right, let's get into this Spoilae. Someone else should say it this time. Do it, France. You got this.
Spoilae!
So let's go into Bloodshot.
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 Y'all
I think I would have had
terrible.
more fun if it was like all in a Jamaican accent.
That's what I was
like,
saying.
Oh, wait, BloodShottas.
Bloodshot.
Yeah. I was like, how is this whole universe not based in like Jamaican
Jamaica.
culture?
Shout out to Amina and Naima.
Yo, that's like their favorite movie. Shottas. That's all they ever talk about.
BloodShottas. Why is this not? Why is it Vin Diesel
It's true.
and not?
Do you think Idris can do a
cast of
good
Luke
Jamaican
Cage.
accent? Just with just a little more accent.
I mean,
What's
Shaggy
his
would be
name?
the guy in the chair.
Yeah, bro.
No, he did a good job. He could do a Jamaican accent.
Yeah.
What was his name? The guy that's
Sean
only
Paul could have been the guy with the arms.
with the
was
arms.
with the no legs.
the villain
and
dude.
Yeah, he totally.
Yes.
And then Rihanna would have been the swimming
the
girl.
girl. Yes, the
It's
breathing
writing
through the
itself.
chest girl. Oh,
And every
my
time
God.
he gets shot, he'd be like, bloodshot, bloodshot, every time.
Every time.
For no reason. And instead of him being bald, it'd be way more interesting
Mad dreads.
if he had dreads.
He'd be like that guy in Mortal Kombat who always
They could have
flips
given
his
us
braids up.
Yeah, they
Hakeem
could have
the
given
Machine
us
Alston.
They could have given us a cinematic first, like regenerating dreads.
Oh,
Because not even
nanites. Nanites.
Yes, nanites in the dreads.
But then he'd be bloodlocks.
Yes, because
Bloodlocks.
think about it. When the Matrix gave us 2 albino dreadlock twins,
I know. What was
they
that?
didn't have regenerating dreads.
Yeah,
okay.
it wasn't like ones and zeros.
Okay, so this is what we were
This is a
robbed
whole
of.
new thing. It's true.
Mike, that's not the comic source material. I don't give a fuck. Adapt it. I don't
Adapted
care.
That's the word.
screenplay. It's in the Academy Awards. So yeah, do it.
Basically, Bloodshot is a dude made of nanites after he died in
He's
a
not,
way
he's
that
not
we
made
actually,
of them. They're like on him.
They make him now. He was a human and now he's nanites.
Nanite Man.
They had the technology.
That's the part that's disassociated is that because there's this scene where he gets his face blown open and then the
that
nanites
was
just come back
disgusting.
and reform his face. So it makes it look like he's made of nanites. It's like it's just in his blood. It's like his blood didn't come back. His whole fucking
His
face
whole
came
face
back.
Right.
came
For the
back.
listeners.
The nanites fixed them though.
For the listeners.
All right, we jumped ahead.
For the listeners.
They can't see my face struggling to process
He's
Says
trying
you.
to put the pieces together.
what you're saying. They can't.
Basically,
I
he
understood
dies
it.
in some way because they never are clear actually about how he actually did die. They never really said that because there were so many fake memories. He
Right.
died in some way. He was never claimed. So this tech company
Which
took
is
him to
fucked
experiment.
up because he had a girl.
he had a girl, but like it sounded like they may have already had broken
Yeah,
up
they already
when
broke
he
up.
died.
That's still cold though.
That
he
is
had
cold.
people.
Well, he
true.
ain't got family. He got friends.
Damn.
They were like, "Do you want to come identify this body?" They're like, "Who do you think it is?"
She was like,
A
nah.
Bloodshot. She was like, "It's okay. No, I can't find a sitter.
Oh my God. Is
She was
that
like,
Dom Toretto from
Never
Shop Class?
mind." So they take his body and they're like, "We're gonna experiment on it." They obviously have like 5 other ones that they experimented on and gave up.
They
And then they were like, "This
No.
is the one."
no, they didn't give up. It's just like they gave them what they need. That's the thing I understand. However, he died must have been worse than any of the other people because
Right.
they had like these military prosthetics for whatever was their
Right. This guy
the-
lost his sight, and so they gave him.
So they gave him
Body
robot
cams.
cam. Yeah, they gave him cams. They gave him fucking Brazzer cams all over himself.
Oh my God.
It makes sense.
You all right?
I can't make that a title, but I want
You all right?
to.
What, Brazzer cams?
Brazzer cams. It didn't even really make sense. I was like, how does this help? He can look straight into everyone's boobs.
Yeah. He can look.
3
He can,
cameras.
Yeah,
right on
the
his
guy
chest.
just had cams all over himself.
It's like, okay.
He was
was
a
a-
cam.
Couldn't you
was
just
a-
fix his eyes? Like, we have that technology right now.
No, but they needed him to be OnlyFans like a hub.
What? They literally could have gave him new eyes. Like, people do that
No,
now.
what they did to him
Where's
was
the fun in that?
they made him a one-man panopticon where he had these drones that were set up and he could literally see a 360 view of everything happening around
Yeah,
him.
that's so
But
much
he
better.
could have also had real eyes.
That wouldn't have helped.
realize.
Would have held him back.
Real lies. Okay.
That's what
Shout
this
out to
movie was
Anticon.
about. Native eyes.
The other girl, she had asthma, and then they gave her the robot lungs.
That's a real Bronx story.
She did.
And
then they brought up Syria, like she was in Syria during the chemical blah 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 blah, and now we gave her this respiratory right in her solar plexus.
The only thing they didn't help explain for me is that, all right, so she fights with all these canisters of smoke and poisons, but I'm like, how does she see though? Like, the smoke everywhere. How is she able to navigate?
So like when you lose a sense, the other senses are heightened.
No, breathing is not a motherfucking sense.
She's better than me. I was going to say, because when she's not breathing, it makes her blood go crazy, and then her eyes dilate.
The blood
through the smoke.
And then
that's why it's
bloodshot.
Bloodshot.
Bloodshot. That does. All
Is
of
that
this
what it
makes
is?
sense.
The blood just shoots to the different places it needs to work.
And that's
this is bad.
And this is not going to be called
thought.
Brazzer Cam. Are you sure?
Yeah, see, I knew he was going.
So anyway, then they had the dude with the missing
didn't have
legs.
legs. Yeah,
they didn't have legs, so they gave him robot legs.
Yeah.
And
Which I was like, these are all things that like happen now, and they made it seem like.
Oh no, I don't have it to that degree.
I guess not to that degree, but it also made it seem like it was some other degree that was like supposed to be amazing, and I was like, this seems like regular.
And then Guy Pearce didn't have an arm or a hand,
right?
And he had a robot hand, but a very advanced robot hand. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was very Westworldy in terms of like it was very.
It told him things.
Dexterous.
Yeah.
But basically, in the movie, they reprogram his brain every time. So every time he goes to do like assassination missions for them.
See, that I didn't understand. So if he was a soldier, right? Mm-hmm. He's a soldier.
Yeah, I don't know.
So why do they have to
reprogram?
trick him into doing these missions instead of just
Guy Pearce's
giving him a manila folder and saying,
this is your mission?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, here's what I learned only in the context of watching this movie and hitting my face several times in shock. And like, why? Is that the company that RTG, RCDBBG, whatever the company is, they're still fledgling and they haven't like gone to market yet.
Oh, they haven't
gotten their military contracts yet.
They haven't gone to Shark Tank.
So he's trying to put together a portfolio to come to them with
Mark Cuban has.
Yes, he's gonna come in like din, like.
They're trying to get everything ready because they know Mr. Wonderful will be like, take this in the back and shoot.
How many contracts can you fulfill in a 2-month span?
Yeah. This is a crazy evaluation.
This is Bloodshot.
Bloodshot.
Sharks.
But yeah, so that's what I get is that in order to make sure that he had a high success rate, they kept using the motivator of
his wife dying.
And to make sure that his revenge narrative was that he never failed. Because
that's sick though, because he been broke up with like Aisha.
I know, that was hilarious. That was the one thing I thought was interesting. Like at first I was like, I don't really care for anything that's happening right now. And then when there was like the twist that I was like, oh, they keep erasing his brain. It was like 1 minute moment where I was like, that's interesting. And then they just continued on with the movie in a way that wasn't interesting.
Right.
And so I was like, oh.
in the trailer, that rewind aspect is what they emphasize, and that's really that's the crux of the twist of that's the movie. I wish that there were more layers to that. That he was I don't need it to be Groundhog Day,
right?
Or what's the Tom Cruise Day After Tomorrow, whatever the fuck.
Oh, I love that one.
Live, Die, Repeat.
That movie was better than this one.
That's not the name. It's something with tomorrow.
Yeah,
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah.
Live, Die, Repeat was the tagline.
Okay, yeah, that. Emily Blunt.
Tagline. Emily Blunt.
Captain Marvel?
What?
No. Sue Storm. Sue Richards.
Oh, yes, Sue Storm.
Hopefully. Anyway, Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Right? She's Mary Poppins?
Yes.
A Quiet Place. We'll just name her filmography.
Yeah. Okay. Pineapple Express.
John Krasinski.
Just keep going.
She wasn't in Pineapple Express?
I doubt it.
No.
That was Hermione.
Her name is Blunt.
No, that was the end. That wasn't.
Same movie.
Continue.
So Bloodshot, I felt like they lost an opportunity. I mean, I'm not familiar with the comics. For all I know, they do go into depth. Blah, blah, blah. But as a film, as a movie, I kind of wanted them to milk that a little bit more, show me the psychological torture that went into that, and there was some of the other soldiers were way too cynical, too quick for me. You know,
I didn't even understand why. It just seemed like they were annoyed.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm so tired of this job. Fucking hate this guy.
But they were tired of it.
He doesn't even know who you are.
Right. It felt like they were tired of it. But for us watching it had just started.
Right.
So can I get some build up to that? There wasn't. The movie wasn't.
They should have done a montage of it happening over and over and over again.
Right.
Right. And then this dude, like every time something terrible happens to him or something, and he's like, God, you've made my life miserable because of your fucking not dead wife. I don't know. It still didn't really make any sense.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Special effects are really good.
Yeah,
I
they were
have
great.
to say that. They were interesting. What's the guy that played the tech guy that helped him out that reminded me of the dude
Wiggins.
Yeah, he looked like John Wall, the point guard for the Washington
First of all, he don't look
Wizards.
nothing like John Wall. You
Yes,
wildin'.
the fuck he does.
He really don't.
I totally know who John Wall is.
If I showed you a picture of John Wall, you're gonna be like, yo, that's him.
That's the dude. Francis is gonna bring it up.
He looked like John Wall.
Paul Wall?
Not Paul Wall, like John Wall. He does look like John Wall.
I'm seeing a picture.
Yes, he does.
Little bit.
Whatever. You guys are married and biased.
Because he's black.
No,
Oh my
stop it. Fucking stop.
That was him. I didn't say it.
He was the only black guy in the movie.
The
He was.
entire movie.
The entire movie. I
was the
felt
only
like the
black
guy
guy.
who couldn't see might have been like Latinx, but I'm also making that up.
But the girl too, right?
Right, yeah. No, sure. The
And then-
actress is, but I don't know if the character was.
Right. And then there was the Asian hacker guy that
Oh,
worked for the company.
why was he in it for like 2 seconds? I don't remember
He
that.
was just
No,
there
he
as
was
a-
in there for a while. But he was.
He was. No, I remember him now because he was like, I based my code off of the other guy.
Yeah. Open source. Whatever.
Yeah.
Guy Pearce in this role, I mean, they could have gotten anybody. They could have
He
gotten
was
anybody.
a thespian. He really was into the motivation
They could have gotten
of
anybody for this.
Bloodshot.
He put more into Iron Man 3 than he did in this role.
I know. I felt like it was Iron Man 3, but he's like, I've already done that.
It
I'm gonna
felt
give
like
it 50%.
this was it was kind of like the same character.
Yeah.
Just messing
All right.
with different tech or whatever.
So how many nanites do you give it?
Oh god, damn.
That's
It's a lot of nanites.
That's a lot.
We'll go with 10,000 is the most.
Wait, these scales, how are people going to respect our scales? Think of something more singular
Okay, more singular.
in this film.
Damn, that's tough. How many bags of flour?
You see, this is why I love you. Yeah.
There's
how
a
many
whole
bags-
scene with random bags of flour. It was so weird.
We have to make them look like the comic.
And then they just made him look like the comic at the end. It didn't make any sense.
That's because it was the debris. The debris.
Debris. And then his eyes went bloodshot, and you're like,
That's when he was bloodshot. Yeah,
okay.
for real.
Okay,
All
how
right.
many bags of flour?
France.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with 5 bags of flour. Four,
Ooh.
five
It keeps
bags
going
of flour.
down.
5 bags
Five?
of flour. 5.
5.
Okay.
I thought he
five
was
to-
going to
5
go to
bags
3.
of flour. I am also giving it 5 bags of flour.
It's so funny because I was thinking 5 in my head when we started thinking about the bags of flour.
I'm telling you, this is the most non-controversial. It's
It's the most okayest movie
It's the most-
of 2020.
yeah, it's one of the most okayest movies. Had I spent my own money to go see it, I would have been like,
Damn.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I did not need that at all.
You would have been like, so glad I have season pass or whatever.
yeah,
VIP
A-list.
thing. A-list.
I don't know if that's still gonna exist once this is over.
I know.
I don't know either.
Sad.
And strange factoid is that Bad Boys for Life is the #1 grossing movie of 2020 still. Because
Bad Boys for Life.
Because it was the last movie that came out.
That was
it's
the
the last
last.
movie that had enough time to amass enough money.
That was the.
And Trolls 2.
Well, yeah, right. Trolls 2 might be on it.
Trolls 2.
Well, Onward. I want to see the Onward spins.
I don't know. I don't think the one that did as good.
Well, we don't know how many
forgot
spins
about
it got.
We gotta look.
Yeah, they're not gonna give us that data. What the fuck?
Back to the books.
Yo, Disney World lost $1 billion
Good Lord. I would have gone to Disney World in
of
a
business
second, though.
because they've been closed. Yeah, Disney right now, they hurting.
I would love to go to Disney World right now. No lines. Sorry.
But they're fucking closed. No lines, no ride, no world. What the fuck?
Just
I just
standing
want to go to
there.
Avatar.
Just standing there. But yeah,
Is this
Bloodshot,
open?
Bloodshot, straight fives.
Yeah,
Is
straight
what it
fives.
is.
All right, so let's go into our Westworld. If you haven't seen all of Westworld, if you haven't seen the finale, if you haven't seen any of it, please turn this off and come back or fast forward because we do have some trailers we're going to talk about after this.
Or life is short, get ruined. Let's go.
Yeah, or no.
No, you don't do that with
Don't
Westworld.
get it ruined. That's terrible.
You don't do that.
Westworld's not the one.
Nah.
Okay, so I'll go back to my original question. What do you think was the underlying theme of the season for you? Yeah, let's start there. Oh no. And do you think it landed well? Do you think that the underlying theme was executed properly?
The underlying theme for this season for me ended up being subversion. Because I felt like a lot of characters' arcs were subverted. They were a lot of times trying to subvert one another. When frustratingly, I thought that some of them could have just worked together from jump,
I know.
especially where they ended up. But I think that the series put world building ahead of the narrative this season. And like I mentioned in the non-spoiler section, I like where a lot of the characters ended up, not all of them, where a lot of them ended up, and I can see from there where hopefully a more satisfying story will branch out. But you know, this season was very frustrating. It felt some elements felt rushed. I felt that William's story arc was detrimentally subverted. Like if you're gonna spend all that time with the living William, where we're already questioning, is he a host or not? That was one of the questions coming into this season, correct?
Right.
If you're gonna have him then come to the realization that no, I'm just gonna kill all my past selves, right? And I'm gonna destroy hosts, and then a half episode later, there's an army of Men in Black Williams that are hosts. I'm like, that wasn't a satisfying, you know, him. I would have rather him had to be alive to see that than have him just have his throat cut before he got to suffer. Like he didn't suffer enough. You get what I'm saying? He that's a character that deserved to
You
suffer.
wanted him to see, because I feel like the thing that would make him suffer is seeing that his host him is doing all these things in the world. 'Cause
Right.
That would have been torture for him. For sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like him just being throat cut in that moment was extremely unsatisfying for that character. It wasn't as bad as Cersei being off paneled,
Oh my God.
but it kind of was, because it's like you gave me all this build up to him just okay. Then what was okay? I didn't feel satisfied by that.
France is disagreeing.
Okay, it's not that I disagree. It's nothing to agree about. That's how he feels about it. I understood. Because at first I was kind of thinking the same thing when it first happened. I was like, what? I was like, why? But then I was like, oh no, if we're watching something where there's something about the style of this show is that they follow a narrative to its end. Like to the narrative's end.
Right. That's why I like saying that this is lost.
It seems like the whole thing is about following every story to its very end, which is not as satisfying when you follow a story to its end and you see the greatness come down to it becomes the opposite of what the thing you even liked by the end of it when you follow a story all the way to its end. But that's what going through the maze allegory I think was all about. And that's when I was like, oh, okay. All right. And I rolled my eyes for a second. And I was like, all right, we have to watch it go all the way through to its end, or we don't really care, or we don't really get the point of the journey to begin with. Fine. And I kind of left it at that because I felt how you felt at first. But then
is that like the underlying theme for you? Like the narrative and like the whole theme of the park was narratives and storylines for certain hosts and those things being broken down and stuff like that.
It's about obsolescence and because at what point do you become obsolete? Because that's the whole point of technology as the way we see it is we do the new until it's not the new, but we never follow what happens to that thing that is not new anymore. It still has a function and a purpose. And if we'll follow its way if we ever follow that thing all the way through, we never get to. We just leave it behind. So for me, that was the underlying theme.
For me, I think the underlying theme was the idea of control. That's like so much a part of what Westworld is, and I think specifically this one. And I appreciated towards the end seeing that, Dolores wasn't really about like ending the human race because it's going to end no matter what. I think that was the one thing that always confused me about Dolores' plan. That was like, she's like, I'm going to end their world or I'm going to change their world and this and that. And I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter because you knew from day one when you were like kind of awoken in the park that like humanity's pretty much fucked. You don't have to do anything. So then it turned into this idea of if humanity is fucked, let them be free.
But I'm going to push back on that because, the impression I got coming out of season 2 and for most of this season was that Dolores was operating on the idea that humanity, she always talks about it, humanity was simple. There were how many lines of code that whatever, right? They're like books you could read. That's how simple the season started with her puppeteering this motherfucker in his own house. Right? With the VR glasses and shit. She's here, she's there, whatever, because she knows what he was going to do. That's how the whole season starts. And he kills himself because of that. But yet, because of, this, and it was unsatisfactory to me because it felt heavy-handed. This whole revelation that she knew Aaron Paul's character from way back, Caleb, from way back, because he had visited the park or whatever. And supposedly she saw the good in people from jump. So that was her motivation. That doesn't seem like that was her motivation when she was riding and shooting motherfuckers in the back, on horseback, and when she was hanging motherfuckers and speaking speeches in their face, and that didn't seem like she chose beauty there. That's what I didn't get. It was unsatisfying for me that all along, no, she always meant to find a Caleb so that the good in people can. I don't want to destroy you. No, that didn't make any sense to me. And that's the thing. If her motivation all along was to do that, then why the fuck didn't she just tell that to Maeve from jump? Ally right there. I don't get it. Why didn't she just, from the time they were in the fucking park, why didn't she just tell Maeve and Bernard and all that was the plan all along? I don't
know if I believe that was the plan all along. I think that it wasn't the plan. She was winging it? Well, I think not that she was winging it. I think she had phases of evolution, which is why she put herself into 5 different bodies. So you could see the 5 different Doloreses split up into one, which is why the Charlotte character ended up spinning off. Because we saw Dolores who kind of, I think at the beginning was very reactionary, right? That's why she's in the park killing these people and doing these things, because she's acting reactionary. As she's learning, because she's a computer, the plan changes. I think she's just as flexible as code is in an AI. So it continuously evolved on itself until it came to this point where at the very end, it was about
I didn't get an impression that after she read those books in the cradle or whatever that was, I didn't get the impression at all that she was adapting anything. This season made it always seem like she was ahead of everybody. Everyone was adapting to her because she always had things. She had all these things in motion. So I didn't see any moments for me as a viewer where it would seem like, oh, Dolores is changing and adapting. I didn't see that. And also, one last thing. Control and subversiveness, I think it went hand in hand, because also in season 3, with the revelation of Serac, his brother, and their endeavor over the last couple of decades with Robum.
Yeah, right.
There's been a system running the world, whereas Westworld was just a small part of that system.
Yeah.
So it's like everything that the rules and everything from Westworld, and us seeing that as like Ford's playground,
right?
That was basically just the seesaws. Yeah, that was the fucking sandpit in the larger park that was being run by Robum and Serac.
Well, that's what I thought was interesting too, though, because it was like they played off each other. Each one of the other thought they had an upper hand or they had more than the other, when in reality it was like, you guys are just playing off the same information. So it was like, oh, how do you think they trained the army? They would come to the park and they would use live subjects. And at the same time, Ford was getting information from them, from the things in the helmets. And at the same time, or whatever was like, I need the information you guys have gotten from real people inside the park. And it's like this weird cyclical thing, which I think that's why Caleb and Dolores' stories got intertwined in reality. I think she obviously did see him in the park in that weird flashback thing. But I think she understood that like Caleb was the world's Dolores. And she's like, I need to meet up with him because we're the diadem.
I don't know if Caleb was the world's Dolores or Caleb was the world's like another William.
Well, the characters, the characters don't matter, and that was the entire point. That's the whole.
What doesn't
point.
Matter?
The characters don't matter. The characters are not the story. The story becomes at each, like the first season is all character driven, but each character is like, this reminds me so much of Naruto in this way. Each character is emblematic of a specific type of psychology or a certain type of ideology that exists already out in the world, like popular philosophy and ethics stuff. I was like, but each character is emblematic of that, but we don't really get to see it play out until it ripples further out of the park. And then it starts to make more. So like, oh, wow. The characters barely matter at this point. And I was like, and the arc is longer. So I think I agree with you that the character development took a hit in the way that they were resolved. Not even without the resolve, the leading up to the resolution takes a hit. And I was curious. I was like, why would they do that? But that ending, that post-credits joint, that I was like, oh no. So the arc is, the maze is longer. The arc is longer. The payoff we would usually get inside of a season is now happening across 2 seasons, which is risky to do for a show, but it's all it's symbolic of what's already been happening. Because the first season in the park, we're riveted by this isolated thing, and then it spills over, and then it spills over again. But each time it spills, the arcs get longer for the characters.
Do you guys think there was a time skip?
I wish that there was. But I don't think that there was.
The reason I'm asking,
yes, there's a time skip. They
at the very, very end.
They mention it. I was like, you mean in the episode or?
No,
or just
I mean from the time that Caleb and Maeve are about to, whatever, they're walking in the city, and Bernard is in the motel room
with
Stubbs.
With Stubbs. and he puts on the headset and then just kind of shuts down. The next time we see him, he's covered in
yes, that's a time skip.
For sure.
So that's what I'm saying. So there's a time skip. Next time we see these characters, there's going to be most likely
Mad Max.
Oh no, it'll be a story told out of time, like the first season.
You think they're gonna go back?
They're gonna go back to that. They're gonna go back to that that device
style
of because we're gonna see a world We're gonna see a world co-populated by hail bots.
That's right.
And also a world of how Bernard deals with that. So there's going to be a world co-populated with. We're not going to know who. We're going back to not knowing who's going to be host or not.
That was the one thing I think I was seeing a lot in the world too, was that I think people didn't hate the season, but I think they were disappointed because they didn't quite understand Caleb's storyline and Bernard's storyline. They didn't understand why they set them up like that and why they continued like that, or what was the purpose. Which I think they were mainly setup characters, to be honest, for season 4.
I understood Caleb's storyline. I just wasn't satisfied with them showing that scene where he's a soldier at the park and he sees a Dolores and Dolores sees him. I thought that wasn't satisfying to me. But with Bernard, I was frustrated because it didn't make sense to me that season 2 was all about him accepting that he was, like, his consciousness or whatever, and accepting the fact that that wasn't his son, that was just
the memory,
a memory put in there by Ford, whatever. But yet in this season, he goes and meets up with his wife, not wife, and they mourn their son, not son. I was like, that felt like a step backwards for some reason.
I think that was like metaphorical.
I didn't get it. I didn't get why we needed that.
It makes perfect sense. It's the like everything is happening. This is spiral storytelling.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Where each character is another character's diametric opposition, but they arrive at the same purpose. So one will have no purpose or be stripped of purpose. One will be completely have purpose pushed on them, and that was Caleb and Bernard. Caleb is born thinking he had free will and didn't. Bernard is born thinking he didn't have free will but does. Or it's like this that interplay around who has purpose and who doesn't, and then they arrive at this moment where they both now have a purpose, and that purpose is in cross purpose. I was like, it's spiral. It's the story itself and the style of the story and the way the story is being told supersedes the use of the characters. It's like the characters are just there to tell the story.
It's like Avatar, right? Where you had like Avatar 1, like you have to have the good and the bad. They exist together. One can't exist without the other. So like, I think that's what Dolores understood. That's why she gave Bernard the key or whatever. She was like, I'm pretty sure I'm the bad guy. And I don't really want to be the bad guy. So I'm going to give you this good thing. You be the good guy. Let's see how it plays out.
It's Murphy's Law.
Right.
She's like, well, if anything that can happen will happen, then I'm going to give this thing outside of myself so I don't destroy everything. And that there's a possibility that I don't destroy everything through you. So go ahead.
I think also like with him waking up in the dirt and all that, I actually am super excited to see a story told. He was like, when he said, oh, now we're about to find out what happens after the apocalypse. I was like, okay, I'm about this. So I am excited to see how it's going to go. I am worried about the story getting kind of convoluted and strange, although that's never happened with Westworld. But I do want to see a Mad Max Westworld for sure. Furiosa, thank you. No?
I mean, it's
just me.
No, it's pretty much what happened at the end of season 2. It was Mad Max out there in the park with Dolores running around bucking people down.
If we do spiral storytelling and it goes back to the same style as season 1, I'd be very interested to see what they come up with.
I don't think they have a choice. Otherwise they create this kind of this dissonance that Mike is talking about.
Yeah.
Where you're like, well, where's my payoff? God damn it. I'm here. Y'all had me for hours this year. What happened? I was like, if they can't get that back, then they will essentially Game of Thrones the situation.
You think Sirach is dead?
Oh, yeah. And they erased Reherber.
Well, because of the power of the those machines that have all this aggregated human data. I don't know if anyone ever dies.
You think William is dead?
Well, I mean, the Man in Black is him.
I really hoped that he was a host, and still do hope that he was a host.
He wakes up on the ground covered in dirt.
And he's like, oh, JK.
JK.
Why did I even care that my throat was slit?
I thought that still would have been, for me, that would have been the best turn if he wasn't actually a host.
I thought he was a host.
But I didn't get that.
Yeah, that did disappoint me. I really did. I agree with the whole him dying like that. I don't know if they would have been able to do it any other way, though. Can you imagine a world in which the Hail Dolores evil side, Nega Dolores, wins, and this guy's still alive? No freaking way.
I think
it would all be about him just murking hosts.
I think the most interesting aspect of season 4 for me is going to be the fact that Ford carried 1 and 2 in terms of the puppeteer.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3 introduced Sirach, who just based on lore,
right,
was actually more in control of things, exponentially more in control of things than Ford ever was.
Mm-hmm.
But then also wasn't, because he ended up being a puppet.
Correct, but I mean, in terms of influence,
yeah.
So Sirach was there, but now if you take both of those figures off the table, and now we are in anarchy and chaos, I'm wondering what elderly accented non-American accent, I should say, figure is going to kind of not ground everything, but
my cocaine.
If not, then it's interesting because you're going to have Westworld without that kind of presence.
Sir Ian McKellen.
It's going to be no God, no devil, just angels. You know, it's going
to be a lady this time.
I'm interested. Well, I didn't genderize. I just
That's
said
true.
Non-American accented figure.
Non-American accent.
Let's get Marion Cotillard. That'd be great.
She is not elderly.
That's the thing. What is she gonna?
I don't care.
Will she be?
You see her eyes? I don't care.
No, it's gonna be McGarnacle.
You mean the gritty detective from that Simpsons episode? Damn it, McGarnacle.
Exactly.
That was supposed to be played by Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we left it just the same as the world has left it. They've been like, I liked it and didn't like it at the same time.
I mean, I enjoyed it more than I didn't. It's just, I'm going into season 4 with more concerns than I ever did into season 2 or into season 3.
I think they're going to blow our minds.
But I'm excited by where they can go from where they ended up. I love Maeve. Put her in more samurai ninja garb, please.
Maeve is the MVP.
God.
I think that's the only thing that matters.
Tandy Newman, I love you.
Everyone has agreed on that. We can be like, oh, I hated it or I loved it, but everyone agrees that Maeve
That fucking fight scene was epic.
They had great fight scenes.
With the drone, the drone copter and the sniper rifle.
They had really, really good fight scenes.
So dope. Yeah. And then the behind the scenes thing was so fun to watch.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So dope. All right, so we're gonna go to some trailers that have come out. Some fun ones actually. HBO has a lot happening right now.
Yeah, because HBO Max is coming.
Oh my gosh, so excited. Crunchyroll is gonna be a part of it.
Yep, they folded Crunchyroll.
Mike's face. Yeah, they folded Crunchyroll.
So wait a minute,
into
if I have HBO Max, I now have Crunchyroll?
Yes.
Perhaps. We don't know how deep the roll is, but there's going to be some.
We don't know how deep the roll is.
We don't know if it's like a tiger roll
How crunchy
or if
the
it's a
roll
dragon
is.
roll.
Got it.
But yeah.
I don't know if it might be spicy tuna.
Stop. I miss Chinese and Thai food and stuff. Stop it.
Well, we had Thai food the other day.
Like yesterday.
Yeah. Tana Thai. They're like a Bronx Thai place.
Is that the place we went to
No, they only do delivery. The place we went to is Little Thai Kitchen. That's in Scarsdale.
Yeah.
But they are still open.
The purple
That's
sticky
good.
rice.
Oh,
Yes!
so good. Anyway, so what is it called? Lovecraft Country. I don't know much about Lovecraft, and France had to explain it to me. So
Cthulhu.
France.
Facts. You say Cthulhu, and the world's like, oh. But
Prince,
he invented that idea. Essentially, he took all these really
Who is he? You said that like,
H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, he's a writer.
He was a writer and
Very much so in the vein of like Edgar Allan Poe.
okay.
very dark,
okay.
occultish.
But yeah,
Got
he
it.
had a lot of dark occult creatures. There were a lot of creatures in his writings.
of creatures.
And the most infamous of them all is this, world-ending fucking creature
Squid
known as
boy.
Cthulhu.
I like to say it when he explained it to me. I was like, "Oh, Hellboy," because those squid things come out of the sky.
Yes, Hellboy is a very Lovecraftian
Yeah.
inspired thing.
Yeah.
But it's about that interplay between hell crossing over into the earthly realm, and a lot of that at play. The trailer talks about it as a place, and I'm guessing they're talking about the place where he actually like lived and
The
like did a lot of
Nexus.
his writing.
Right. You know what it
Hellmouth.
reminded me of? Well, first of all, Jordan Peele is executive producing, and freaking J.J. Abrams, and like it's set in like I don't know what is it?
Looks like the mid 50s.
Yeah, 50s.
Really?
Obviously, race issues are happening.
I couldn't tell. I have to watch it again. I couldn't tell. I couldn't
Yeah, them
place.
boys was wearing them high waisted pants.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, it looked like, and I hope it does it. Like maybe they play with time a little, but
Maybe.
I can't.
It'd be even
be
cool.
sure.
It'd be.
The cars were definitely 40s, 50s cars.
That's true.
So I was like,
I gotta watch the trailer again, but
Yeah.
I'm excited. It was. You didn't have to tell me this was produced by Jordan Peele. Once they started slowing down an old classic,
I know.
once they
What
start,
was it?
they used James
James
Brown's
Brown.
track. That 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, once they start slowing down, playing
You
at
were
half
like,
speed, a fucking classic song.
Jordan Peele?
Then
Is
I'm
that-
like, he keeps doing that. So I was like, oh, okay, it's Jordan Peele.
But it reminded me of Tommy Knockers. You guys ever watch Tommy Knockers?
Yeah.
Tommy Knockers,
Might have.
Tommy Knockers knocking at your door. Basically, like this thing crashes in the woods and then it starts infecting the whole town. But mixed with, like, obviously, an extremely alien rip your face off
Yeah.
creature.
Well, what's going to be great about this is that it talks about H.P. Lovecraft was really into this combination of like steampunk sci-fi blended with the occult. So it's like whoever the hero was always used some quasi-scientific methodology to explain some magic.
Ooh.
I was like, and that was always cool. And to have it based in this time and to have it be so heavily black folk centered. Like
Yeah.
the majority of protagonists look like black folks.
I don't know how to say this. I'm not very well versed in like horror movies. It's not my favorite genre. Never has been. But I definitely am not.
What is happening?
You know
Why do you
this
come to our
already.
Halloween party? No.
That's
I knew
the
that.
only time that I really watch.
We're his gateway.
Anyway, so that being said, that would mean I'm also not very well versed in like, black horror genre movies or whatever like that.
Because it doesn't really exist that
But that's what I'm
much.
saying.
There's a
This
select
show,
few movies.
this show is intriguing to me because of that. So, fuck the trope of the black guy, the black girl, the black person always being the first to die, and every other
True.
horror. This one is narratively driven by the people of color in it. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited.
It looks good.
When-
I mean, the special effects, I'm sure, are
Yeah.
going to be A1 because it's HBO.
And JJ,
Yeah, J.J. Abrams about that shit.
Well,
lens flare, hello.
no, fuck JJ. I'm talking about HBO.
No, HBO has stepped up.
You know
their
what would have
game.
been really
It's
cool?
ridiculous.
Instead of JJ Abrams, you know what other name would have excited me more?
Oh, God, who? Christopher Nolan?
No, think HBO and think Lost.
Oh, my
Damon
gosh.
Lindelof.
Lindelof.
Mm-hmm.
If Lindelof and Peele teamed up,
That's
our minds would explode.
well, that's
Well,
what
we'll
I'm
see what's up.
That's what I'm saying.
Lindelof is a part of the bad robot machine, and that's J.J.
Is
Abrams.
he?
He's from J.J. Abrams' camp.
I know, but
Is
So-
he?
yeah,
Definitely. So it's like, I mean, yeah, but I agree. I could see it'd be a harder edge on it.
If I'd have seen that name, like for real,
Your eyes would have fallen out of your face.
yeah.
Nipples got a little stimulated. I can dig it.
It'd have been like Indiana Jones. Your face melted.
Oh my God.
You know they have a candle like that at Alamo. I want to buy it so bad. His face
Support local
melt as you're
businesses,
like,
folks.
Legit.
exactly. All right, so the next trailer, I think is like, oh man, so meta. Space Force, which is, after watching the trailer, very specifically tied to the ridiculousness that Trump has made.
Have you seen the cast of this motherfucking show?
Yes.
I did.
My man Roy Wood Jr. in the building.
And someone who obviously is playing AOC.
Oh,
I died at that movie. I was like, yo.
Are they playing AOC or are they just playing like an AOC inspired character?
What is
I think it's
the
AOC
difference?
inspired character,
For
but
sure.
what's the difference?
They were like, put her in it. She deserves.
It comes from the makers of The Office, and it's going to be a
Yeah.
Netflix
Steve Carell
joint.
It looks really smart. It looks
does.
funny in a dark way, you know.
The darkest.
But the cast, I'm like, how did they? Because
did they
I don't know how long they were working on this. I feel like they did this quickly. It doesn't mean it's done poorly or shoddily. I'm just saying, I feel like from the time I heard they were doing this to the time that it's now going to hit Netflix very soon, I'm like, how the fuck did they get all these people on this show?
Yeah.
It's actually amazing. It's a very, very deep cast.
It is. And I think perfectly cast too. Like Steve Carell in a role like this, these are the things he was made for.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I love the moment in the trailer where the guy's walking. He's obviously talking about him. He's like, no, it's so stupid. And he's like, tied to my dry cleaners. You're like, oh my God.
It's like, this is the deep crawl. This is 6 degrees of Steve Carell. There are people from The Office in this. There are people from various films he's been in. There's The Daily Show. Like this is like a deep pull.
It's Avenue 5 mixed with The Office, also political.
I guess I'm excited to hear this assessment of, because the Space Force is a real thing that exists right now that we pay for with our tax dollars.
I feel like as soon as they heard that word, like whoever wrote it was like, and now it's happening.
They were like,
We have to write this.
they were like, finally. They turned they were trying to put together a pilot for just like a NASA office comedy mashup thing.
right.
And then once they announced Space Force and a budget, they were like,
We got it.
They're like, okay,
let's just shift this over.
thank
There we
you.
go. Boom.
I think
Got
Trevor
it.
Noah said it quite a few times. It's a golden age for comedy.
Literally. All right. Well, what a good episode. I had a good time, guys. Probably because of the whiskey, but also the banter.
The banter.
I'm saying banter because we've been watching Love Island, and apparently that's like a trait people like when they want to date someone in the UK. I love him. He has good banter. And you're like, what?
Yeah, can they carry a fucking conversation? Seems like
We
a
just
very
say
important.
it differently. Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. In American, we use a lot more words. Carry a conversation rather than like, got good banter.
To which they shorten to Bants.
Bants.
Well,
I feel like
to
we
be
have good
fair,
bants.
in American courtship, we have a whole phase that could be basically qualified as banter, the talking phase.
Right. The
So,
talk. Oh, I got you. Okay. You're right. It's like, oh no, we're talking. Got you. Okay.
Eh.
shut the fuck up. I've been married for 10 years. Shut the fuck up.
The last time I said that was high school. I love the silence.
I'm going to tell you something. It didn't go away. And people still doing it, which is
People still do it.
roll my eyes. Anyway.
All right, catch us next time when I don't know what we're going to talk about. I think we should talk about Stargirl because I've watched some screeners and it's honestly really good.
Oh, God.
I'm confused as to why it's so good. You know how judgmental I am, but it's pretty good.
Well, we could talk about that. We could talk about the community reunion.
The reunion.
Parks and Rec.
I don't know what movies though. What did we say? are we gonna do?
There are plenty of movies we can choose.
We'll let you guys
But
know.
we'll choose them. Yeah.
If you
Or if you guys, if you our listeners, if you know of a movie,
yeah,
feel free to suggest it.
definitely let us know if you know something that is either new to streaming or a movie that we never talked about.
Right.
Let us know. We'll watch it and give it a try.
Yeah. Hit us up on the Twitters or
And the Twitters
Or IG.
Instagrams.
Or Facebook.
or Facebook.
Yeah. If you're really desperate, SoundCloud.
SoundCloud
Why
is
gotta
where
be
it all
desperate for that?
begins.
Because nobody goes there anymore.
Oh, come on, man.
SoundCloud rappers, they
fucked that
do
up for us.
stuff.
Come on.
SoundCloud gives us an RSS. Thank you, SoundCloud.
Shout out to
you.
SoundCloud.
Thank you, SoundCloud. Clutch.
This is America.
This is America.
I'm afraid next episode, if we are all drinking, who's gonna be like the adult?
What are you afraid of?
We don't. Is that the ASMR episode?
No. We can't drink and do the ASMR at the same time.
I feel like
We
we
don't have
pass
enough
out.
donors for that. They don't deserve that.
Next time, watch out. Drunk ASMR. Good luck, everybody.
How does drunk ASMR work? I don't even understand.
know.
Does it work?
I feel like I want to Google it, but then I don't want to Google
No.
it.
Nah.
I don't want that algorithm on my phone.
You really don't.
No.
All right, y'all.
Well,
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks to those people who are doing that. People like Gabe and Kat and Simone and all those people. Thank you. And all our listeners who I know that you listen because you tell us to our faces because you're our friends, like Christian and Al and E and all those people. Thank you.
rough.
Thank you for listening. Ruffin for sure. Catch his podcast.
Al. The Daddy
Al.
Fino Flash podcast. Al.
Daddy Fino.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
Jen. Shout out to Jen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and in Philly.
So many people.
There's so many people.
The city of Philadelphia. All of them.
The
Sylvester
city
Stallone.
of Phil. No, that worked at Bruce's.
Sylvester Stallone.
Sure. Thank you, everyone, and catch us next time.